Hey everyone, I wanted to make a hopefully very brief video explaining the ILP assignment a little bit more in detail since a few of you are a bit confused and overwhelmed as far as how to complete it. So the first thing to go over is back to this breakdown, explaining why our course is split into 3 units and what the goal of that is. So these major writing assignments are meant to guide you one step at a time through the process of first, researching the arguable topic of your choice, second, developing a list of credible sources that help you craft and write your own argument on the topic, and then finally, applying the rhetorical skills you've cultivated and the argument you've thoroughly researched and written to areas outside the academic sphere. So as you can see, these are split into Unit 1, which is your annotated bibliography and proposal. Unit 2, which is where you'll write your researched argumentative essay. And then Unit 3, which is when you do the public turn and final reflection. So the whole point of me explaining this is that the first step, learning how to research, requires you to gather a list of sources that you'll use to write your research argumentative essay. So because this is a pretty big task, you have to have 8 for your initial draft and 10 for your final. We wanted to help you not accidentally put this off till the last minute or get overwhelmed by chunking that large assignment, the annotated bibliography, into smaller, manageable tasks. So, for instance, you don't need to worry about the proposal yet, but you do need to start doing research so that you can figure out what your argumentative essay is going to be on and informing yourself about it, doing the research that's going to help you defend your argument. So simply put, an annotated bibliography is simply a list of sources that you will use in your essay, followed by first, a brief summary of the source's main idea or argument. Second, an evaluation of the source based on the criteria listed on your ILP worksheet. And then 3, a brief explanation of how it will be useful for your essay or project. So I have uploaded some of these resources. I know that a lot of you haven't done annotated bibliographies before and you're not sure what they are. So if you go to Blackboard, then click Course Content, and then open this annotated bibliography folder, it looks like this. So course content is right here. You'll click this. And then there's some Purdue OWL sources on what an annotated bib is and some examples. I've also uploaded a template here, so you can look at those. You can download a template. It looks like this. So this is your heading in MLA format. You got to do your citation for your popular press source, answer these questions to do your annotation, and then do the same for your academic or scholarly source. So that's available to you on Blackboard. And then Chapter 11 from the Everyday Writer and the Coming to Terms reading especially all help you understand what exactly the ILP is asking you to do. So make sure that you've done the readings from last week and that you are working on the readings from this week, because those will help you understand how to answer what the ILP is asking you to write about for your sources. So you need really good sources to defend and to craft a really good argument. So what ILP 1 is asking you to do is to start evaluating those sources that you find and that you want to add to your annotated bibliography that you think will be good to include in your researched argumentative essay when it comes time to drafting those. So what it asks you to do, you want to complete them one step at a time. So start with one of these, either the popular press or the academic source that you find, and then read it, annotating as you go. Especially read the chapters from this week, Chapter 11 and the ones from the Carolina Rhetoric, because they tell you how to know what to annotate, what quotes to write down, etc. as you're reading. So you'll just read the source and you will mark as you go, so that on step 2, you can cite the source in MLA format and then right underneath it, summarize it in your own words. Beneath your summary is when you're going to write your evaluation. So what is authority and why does it matter? Is there any bias in this piece? What's the context, date published? These are all explained in detail on your ILP worksheet. And then the last step is to just do a very brief reflection as far as what do you think about the source, and how might it be useful in your essay. So this should explain it pretty well. I also want you to check out, if you go to this new tab that I added, Tips and Resources, I've added a bunch of stuff here, not only on how to organize and keep up with tasks like we talked about last Friday, but this document on how to research sources, and then this whole folder that is not the only sources that you should use, but gives a link to the interactive media bias chart for popular sources, and a couple links to a few, gives a link to the Thomas Cooper Library database and to some of these scholarly sources for your academic and scholarly article that you have to find. So hopefully with those sources combined with the reading, combined with this brief explanation of the purpose of the ILPs, you'll be able to tackle this assignment and not have to feel too anxious about it. But also remember, we are meeting synchronously this Friday before your ILP is due at 11:59 p.m. So you can always ask me questions about it in class, but I also have office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you ever want to just pop into a Zoom meet and make sure that you're doing everything right, that's also totally fine. So last thing really quick, this is from one of the Carolina rhetoric readings that you had to do last week, I believe, but these are just a list of questions to get you thinking about what topic you might want to write your argumentative essay on and what you'll be researching if you're still unsure. So consider a couple of these, and just remember that if you have any questions or need any help brainstorming a topic, you can always ask me. And then lastly, and really importantly, your argument or stance does not need to be fully developed or formulated in order for you to begin researching. So if you just have, if you resonate with this first one where you don't know where you stand on it and you don't know much about it, but you can think of a topic that you want to know more about, the researching process will guide you towards what your position is and will help you develop an argument. So hopefully this was helpful, but if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out and let me know or ask me in class on Friday.